press 399 to stop the event. Starting streaming now.
Up Central pregame show on News Talk 720 WGN, sponsored by National City Bank.
Hi, everybody. Ron Sano here in Arizona for the first game of the Cactus League, and I'm with the pitching coach for the Chicago Cubs, Larry Rothschild. Larry, it looks like it's, when I look at this ball club, we look very solid pitching-wise. It looks like the bullpen's pretty much set. There's a couple openings. The starting rotation, how do you feel about that?
Well, we'll see as we go. Right now with Harden, Marshall at the tail end, and you've got Zambrano, Dempster, and Lilly at the front end. It's got a chance to be a real good rotation. It's just getting through spring training and getting guys healthy and built up, and there's a chance for other guys to jump in and give us an opportunity to put Sean back in the bullpen. So we'll look at everything early on and give guys innings, and then as we get closer to halfway through or three-quarters of the way through, we'll have to make some decisions.
Do you like the new acquisitions like Kevin Gregg?
Yeah, very much. I think he adds a lot to the team. He's a strong kid. He pitched hurt a lot last year because of his knee, and is healthy now, and I think everybody will enjoy watching him pitch in the 8th or 9th inning this year.
And we got a very big kid here, about 6'5", Hellman. And what do you think of him?
It's Heilman, but
Heilman.
He's coming off a rough year in New York, and it was time for a change of scenes. But they had 2 or 3 real good years out of their bullpen. We're going to give him some innings here, build him up, and see if it's a viable alternative for him to start. If not, he'll go into the bullpen and be a good addition down there. Got a real good changeup. He's making some adjustments delivery-wise, and they look like they're helping. So hopefully everything works out, and he throws the ball the way he has in the past up until last year, because he could really help us. And we'll just see where we are. Again, he's one of those guys that when we get to halfway through, we're going to have to make some decisions.
With the spring being a little bit different this year, I think we're playing about 9 more games. How are you going to work this out with the staff? And Lou's got to really be concerned about the ball club in general of keeping them strong.
Well, it's a fine line because we do have a lot of time, but you don't want complacency to set in where you say, well, I'll get that done tomorrow or whatever, because then tomorrow doesn't come and you're in trouble. But I think with the pitching right now, we're going to get guys going fairly early on, and if we need to back off in the middle and give them some rest and get them ready after that, that's what we'll do. But I'd rather get them to a point where they're through all the soreness and all that stuff early on, provided that we think they're healthy and ready for that. And then later on, we'll be set to get them the innings and everything else and get them some rest in between. But it is a long spring, and the timing of getting everybody ready for that first game is critical. And how you do it with 39 games and guys being here this long is not an easy task, and we're aware of it, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that when we get to Houston, we're ready to go.
And what about Samardzija? Now I know he's starting today, going a couple innings. Have you made any decisions about whether he's going to are you going to try to make a starter out of him or bullpen?
Well, he's going to get a chance to start, and obviously starting today. And we'll see where it goes. I want to see the differences when he's starting as opposed to relieving, and let him have side sessions in between where he can work on the second and third pitches and try to get those better, and then be able to use them in a game where, if he's in relief right now, he can power his way through an inning and not have a problem. But he's going to have to be able to use the other pitches at some point. And, you know, the split was good last year. It came along pretty well. But there's room for improvement there, and especially with the slider, you know, things like holding runners and stuff like that will come into play more as a starter.
What do you think about the young starters the young pitchers that we have in camp? It looks like most of them can really throw.
Well, I think we've gotten more arm strength this year than we had last year with younger kids, and some of them have been impressive just in what they've done up till now. But you know, you learn more when the games start and where they are. There's a lot of kids that don't have a lot of experience that are going to be force-fed a little bit here and get an opportunity, so that if we need them during the summer, they'll be ready to go and at least have some experience under their belt. And there's other kids that just, you know, are here for whatever reasons, but have good arm strength, and we'll work with them and do the best we can, knowing that they're not going to be on the team and that they need to be in the minor leagues for a little while. But yeah, there's some nice arm strength here, and you know, again, location and command in the second, third pitch are what's going to make the difference.
Thanks a lot, big boy.
Okay, thanks, Ron.
Larry Rothschild, the fine pitching coach for the Chicago Cubs. We'll be right back with more baseball on Cubs Radio Network.
Cubs Central Sports Wire on News Talk 720 WGN, sponsored by Seattle Sutton's Healthy Eating. Welcome back on the WGN Chicago Cubs Radio Network. I'm David Kaplan. Cubs coming up against the Dodgers at Ho-Ho-Cam in Mesa. Let's take a quick look at some of the other games that are going on this afternoon. The White Sox will get going at 2:05 as well. They are in Tempe, and they will battle the Anaheim Angels. The Giants and Indians will play in Cactus League action, as will the A's and Brewers, the Royals and the Rangers, the Mariners and the Padres, and the Diamondbacks and the Rockies. In the Grapefruit League, they're already underway. The Mets all over the Orioles, 8-2. Red Sox are leading Boston College 6-1 in the fifth. You see that early in spring training, some of the college teams getting some games in. Top five, Braves and Tigers in Lakeland, Florida, are tied at 3. Yankees 6-1 over the Blue Jays, bottom 5. Nationals and Astros, no score, top 5. Phillies trailing the Pirates 8-1, bottom 5. Cardinals 3-zip over the Marlins, bottom 5. Reds 5-zip over the Rays, bottom 5. And a night game, it will be the Red Sox against the Twins. Red Sox in split squad action. So there you have all the games going on in Major League Baseball. hard to believe baseball is back. We still have some snow on the ground here in the Chicago area, but when you hear Pat and Ron and you hear the music play, you know warmer weather is around the corner, and the sunny days of the summer and days at Wrigley Field are not too far off. So we will see what the Cubs do throughout 39 games of spring training play. They will lose 3 players to the World Baseball Classic. Ted Lilly will pitch for Team USA. Giovanni Soto will catch for Team Puerto Rico. Kosuke Fukudome will play outfield for Team Japan, the defending champions in the World Baseball Classic. All right, that's going to do it for our Cubs Central pregame show. Cubs baseball, great to say that, is coming up next. Here's hoping this is day 1 of a 7-month joyride to that next year we've all dreamed about, as Harry always said. Have a great afternoon, everybody. I'm David Kaplan on the WGN Chicago Cubs Radio Network.
Representing Wells Fargo, goes the first ceremonial pitch of the 2009 Cubs spring training season is Jeff's 9-year-old son, Caleb. Let's give him a warm Mesa welcome. Join me in welcoming a friend of the Chicago Cubs, Roger Tarr. Roger is 85 years young, a Cubs fan from Illinois who's been coming to Hoboken Stadium for over 30 years. Let's give Roger a warm Mesa welcome. Fans be sure to get your tickets for the second annual Cooking Breakfast Celebrity Game right here on Wednesday, March 22nd at 7 p.m. Rub shoulders with Hall of Famers Ferguson Jenkins, Billy Williams, Bob Feller, Juan Marichal, and Raleigh Peters, along with many other baseball greats. $10 general admission or $25 VIP tickets that include an on-the-field meet and greet. Tickets are available at the stadium box office.
There, testing 1 2 3 1 2 3. That's good. That's good.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please rise and join Earl Lloyd?
If we're in the anthem, go ahead and look up the anthem live.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, who thrust stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight.
Chicago Cubs baseball is on the air from Hohokam Park in Mesa, Arizona. It's a Cactus League encounter between the Chicago Cubs and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Good afternoon, everybody, along with Cubs legend Ron Santo. It's Pat Hughes reporting. It's a beautiful, warm, sunny day in the Valley of the Sun. The Cubs and the Dodgers in Game 1 of this preseason schedule. The starting pitchers, a couple of right-handers. Jeff Samardzija going for the Cubs. Journeyman right-hander Claudio Vargas starts for the Dodgers. Back to take a look at the starting lineups and get this one underway right after this on the WGN Cubs Radio Network. Three. 1, 2, 3 test. 1, 2, 3. That's good. Thank you. The umpires have arrived. Kerwin Danley is going to call balls and strikes today. The three base umpires, Jim Joyce, Mark Carlson, and Jeff Macias, as the Cubs take the field in their home whites. Quickly, let's give you the starting lineups. The lineups today brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois. Experience wellness everywhere. For the Dodgers, leading off in left, Juan Pierre. Brad Ausmus catching. Andre Ethier hitting third and playing in right. The Dodger first baseman is James Loney. Casey Blake at third base. Batting sixth in center, Matt Kemp. Blake DeWitt at second base. The Dodgers' number 8 hitter is the designated hitter Delwyn Young. And Tony Abreu is batting ninth and playing short. And again, Claudio Vargas, a right-hander who pitched for the Mets a year ago, will start for Los Angeles. For the Cubs, under manager Lou Piniella, Alfonso Soriano will lead off in left. Ryan Terrio batting second and playing short. Batting third and playing at first, Derek Lee. Michael Hoffpower is the Cubs' designated hitter. Giovanni Soto catching. Mike Fontenot to bat sixth. Fontenot at second base. Reed Johnson in center. A right fielder, one of the newest members of the Cubs from the Oakland A's organization by the name of Richie Robnett. Robnett in right and batting eighth for the Cubs, and batting ninth at third base, Bobby Scales. And the big right-hander, the former Notre Dame football star Jeff Samardzija, is starting for the Cubs today. And Ronnie, first of all, before we have you tell us about Jeff Samardzija, let me extend birthday greetings to you, and everyone in the ballpark stood just a few moments ago and sang a rather pleasant rendition of Happy Birthday.
I was so surprised about that, Pat. I couldn't believe that I was talking to you, and all of a sudden, Joel, the engineer, said, "Hey, Ron, they're singing Happy Birthday." Well, thank you very much, and it's just a number.
I had a little to do with it, so if you'd like to slap a 20 on me later, that would be fine, Ron. We are ready to go. Samardzija fires, fastball low, and away we go. Ronnie, tell us about Jeff.
Well, Jeff Samardzija, Pat, last year came up to the Cubs, did a good job in the bullpen. He's got a 95 to 96 mile-an-hour fastball.
Fly ball to left toward the line, loping over Soriano, right on the line, makes the catch, drifting into foul territory. One away.
He's 95 to 98 with the fastball, and the one thing about that he's trying to do this year, he wants to become a starter, and they're giving him an opportunity. Fastball, changeup, split finger. He does throw a slider, and that's what he's working on right now.
Samardzija, big kid, 6'5", 220 pounds. Brad Osmus, the former Astro catcher, takes outside off-speed pitch, 1-0. No score, just underway. A beautiful, warm, sunny Wednesday afternoon just outside of Phoenix here in Mesa. We do not have a sellout crowd as Osmus will take a fastball strike, and it's 1-1. 80 glorious degrees at game time.
Oh, you couldn't ask for a better day. Opening the Cactus League. February's been gorgeous here. Beginning of February is a little cool.
Here's the next pitch. Line toward right center. On the run, Johnson. Diving catch by Reed Johnson. What a play.
Boy, I tell you, that was something. I didn't think he was going to get to that ball, and that ball kept going away from him. He kept after it, dove, and made a great catch.
He reached out, fully extending that left arm. That ball started to sail.
Yes.
As he started in and then had to angle back as the center fielder moving over toward the alley in right center made a lunging, spectacular diving catch at the last second. 2 down, and here's Andre Ethier. Left-handed batting right fielder. Samardzija fires. Fastball low and in, ball 1. Ethier hit .305 a year ago with 20 home runs, drove in 77. The Dodgers, defending champs of the Western Division. Here's the pitch, fouled away, back to the screen. Just talking with Rick Sutcliffe, Cubs legend, former Cy Young winner in 1984. He was on the field before the game. And, Ronnie, we talk about the veteran pitchers in spring training. Sometimes they won't even throw a breaking ball their first time or two out. They just want to get loose and work out the kinks from the winter. Here's a change-up strike. But for a kid like Samardzija trying to win a spot, Sutcliffe said he's going to bring everything he's got today.
Yeah, that's a good point, Pat, and definitely you'll see that with all the young pitchers trying to make this ball club in spring training. It's almost like we were talking about, I've been here when they were taking hitting, and the worst time of spring is early for the hitters because they're facing their own pitchers.
And they're wild.
And they're wild. They're just trying to throw as hard as they can. They don't know where the ball's going. I don't know how many hitters just stood up there and didn't swing at a pitch.
Andre Ethier takes a fastball just inside near the right elbow, and the count now is 3-2. Hohokam Park in Mesa. Hard to believe this is our 13th spring in this park. Ronnie, it's hard to believe this is our 14th year working together, you and me.
Yeah, unbelievable. Where'd it go, Pat?
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Ethier is gone, and so are the Dodgers. Thanks to a sparkling defensive play by Johnson in center, Samardzija works a 1-2-3. After a half, Dodgers do not score, and the Cubs coming up. Right-hander Claudio Vargas, like Samardzija, a big man. Vargas, 6'4", 240 pounds, a native of the Dominican Republic. He has bounced around in his big league career. Last season he spent with the New York Mets, got into only 11 games. 4 of those were starts, spent part of the season in the minor leagues. He has pitched for the Brewers in 2007, with Arizona for a couple of years, Washington and Montreal. So he has not really stayed in one place for longer than 2 seasons since coming to the bigs back in 2003. Alfonso Soriano will lead off and take the first pitch for a ball. It is 1-0. Ronnie, we've seen Vargas before.
Yeah, he's, as you say, he's a big man. He throws a lot of sinkers, Pat. I think his big problem is command.
Bouncing ball fair, knocked down, base hit off the glove of the third baseman Blake. It rolls into shallow left, base hit for Soriano. Blake diving toward the line, knocked the ball down. Otherwise, it probably would have been a double. It's a leadoff single for Soriano.
You know, speaking of Soriano and him and then Ramirez, they in the Dominican, the Cubs have a camp down there, and they were there working out. They look great. I mean, these guys come to spring training, they're ready to go.
Here's Ryan Theriot. He hit .307 for the Cubs a year ago. No score, bottom of the first. Nobody out. Soriano at first. First pitch low and away, 1-0. I saw Soriano on the field. He is in tremendous physical condition.
No doubt about it.
Not an ounce of fat to be seen. Derek Lee on deck. Vargas to the belt. A long set. And the pitch, Theriot takes a changeup for a strike. 1-1. The Dodgers in their traveling grays with blue hats, blue numbers, and a blue stripe going down the side of the trousers, dark shoes. Dodgers have a red, smaller number on the front of their uniform top. Theriot waits for the 1-1. Slap foul off to the right, out of play. The Cubs in their home whites with the blue pinstripes. Blue hats, blue numbers, blue shoes and socks. Mike Quaddy coaching in the box at third. Matt Sinatro in the box at first. A lot of fans on the grassy slopes out beyond the outfield barriers. Now the 1-2 from Vargas to Theriot. Instead, Vargas backs away and looks Soriano back to the bag.
Yeah, I don't think Soriano's going to be running this early in spring. That's for sure.
Soriano, though, once the regular season starts running, I know he would like to steal some more bases.
Oh, yes. And he will.
Theriot lines a base hit to right. Jogging to second and holding is Soriano. Back-to-back singles by the Cubs' first 2 hitters, and now Derek Lee coming up.
I tell you, Theriot, Pat's got that inside-out swing. He hits a lot of balls, line drives to right field with the ball a little in on him, not way in on him, and he'll take the ball that's outside the other way. He'll pull a breaking ball, but he really uses the middle of the field and right field and right center.
He's got a nice controlled stroke.
Very good.
Here's Derek Lee. No score, Cubs threatening. Bottom of the first, Cactus League opener. Vargas delivers. Derek Lee takes a strike, a curve. Lee, a .291 hitter a year ago, belted 20 home runs, drove in 90, and provided great defense over at first, as he always does. Open stance, hitting out of a bit of a crouch, holds that bat high. The pitch. Lee takes a fastball upstairs, 1 ball, 1 strike. Lee would like to hit a few more home runs than he did a year ago.
Yeah, and I think he will, Pat. I think he's going to have a tremendous year this year. He struggled last year. I mean, he didn't have a bad year, but it wasn't.
Fastball is outside, and the count now is 2-1.
He wasn't driving the ball the way he normally does.
I was listening to Lou Piniella talking about Derek Lee and the fact that he hit a lot of ground balls. He bounced into 28 double plays a year ago. And Lou said, we got to get him to start lifting the ball, hitting a few more fly balls. Let me ask you about that, Ron, after this next pitch. The 2-1 from Vargas. The runners lead at first and second the pitch. Lee takes low, 3-1. If a hitter, a slugger, wants to hit more fly balls, what does he do?
Well, that's the point. You can't think about. The only time I think a hitter thinks about hitting a fly ball is with a man on third and one or less out. I don't go up to the plate, and I don't think anybody does, thinking about hitting the ball in the air. They think about hitting line drive.
Lee takes low, ball 4. They're loaded with nobody out from Michael Hoffbauer.
And for that walk, and every Cub player that walks, Walgreens will make a $100 donation to JDRF.
Boy, you were right on top of that commercial.
Yeah, I'm always Walgreens. Wonderful. Wonderful.
That pregame rehearsal is really paying off.
Yeah, it really is. I was here very early this morning, about 6:30.
Sorry to hear that, Ron. Bases loaded, nobody out, bottom of the first. Here is Michael Hoffbauer, left-handed batter, infield back. Cubs trying to grab the early lead. Soriano at third, Terriano, it's spring training for broadcasters, too.
Absolutely.
Terrio at second and Lee at first. And Hoffbauer waits. Vargas delivers. A ground ball to second, a run will score. A throw to second, 1. Abreu to first for a double play. Cubs lead 1-0 as Soriano scores. Hoffbauer bounces into the 4-6-3 double play. Going to third on the play is Terrio. The Cubs lead 1-0, but now there are 2 down. And the batter, Giovanni Soto.
Hoffbauer is a guy that's got a lot of power, hits a lot of line drives, hits the whole field. That time, Vargas, that pitch was out over the plate, outside and down, and you try to pull that ball, and you're going to end up a ground ball.
Last year's National League Rookie of the Year, Giovanni Soto, stands in. From the stretch, the pitch, fastball high, ball 1. Soto, 23 home runs in his first full season last year, drove in 86, and he was a clutch hitter.
Oh, was he ever. What a year he had, defensively and offensively. And he, the big factor of him coming from the minor leagues to the big leagues was a loss of weight, and this year he's even lighter. He's in great shape.
Vargas 1-1 to Soto. The lead at third in foul territory by Terrio. Here's a curve outside. Vargas, similar to Samardzija, is throwing a lot of breaking balls in this first inning. He's trying to win a job.
Oh, sure he is. And he's got a breaking ball, a changeup, and the sinking fastball.
Cubs lead 1-0. Bottom of the first, 2 down. Vargas 2-1. And Soto swings and misses. Another off-speed pitch.
That was a breaking ball. Yeah. It didn't, it looked like it didn't break. It just, he took something off it, and that's why Soto was out in front.
Vargas' best big league season would have been 2006 with Arizona when he won 12 games. And the right-hander's 2-2. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. And the Cubs, after loading the bases with nobody out, scratch out just a single tally. 1 run, 2 hits, they leave 1. After 1, Cubs 1, Dodgers nothing. Inning number 2 with Ron Santo, Pat Hughes at Hohokam Park. Cactus League baseball coming your way today. And we will be right back out here tomorrow afternoon, same time. The Cubs against the Milwaukee Brewers. Speaking of the Milwaukee Brewers, congratulations, Ron, to our good friend Corey Provis. Corey, one of the new voices of the Brewers. He'll work alongside the legendary Bob Uecker. We'll see them tomorrow. Second inning, Samardzija's pitch. James Loney takes down low for ball 1. It's 1-0.
Yeah, it's going to be different, without Corey. But you can't pass an opportunity like that. And for him to get that job, it's wonderful.
Loney lines a base hit to right. Clean leadoff single. First base hit for the Dodgers against Samardzija. Cubs lead 1-0 here in the second, and here's Casey Blake. Our producer engineer Matt Bolts is listening in back home. In fact, we understand he is taping the broadcast just so he can get more and more ready for the regular season. Our engineer today is a young man here in Arizona by the name of Joe Ashley.
Yeah, you think, so you really think Bolts is taping it?
I don't think he's even listening to it. Here's a fastball high, ball 1.
I would say if he's taping it, he's in some bar having a beer, that's for sure.
1-0 on Casey Blake. Blake, veteran, former Indian, right-handed batting third baseman, hit .280 a year ago and had 21 home runs. Samardzija ready and fires. Blake bounces one wide of third, off the glove of a diving Scales and into left. Going to third is Loney safely as the ball died on the grass in left in front of Soriano. Base hit for Blake. Scales, the third baseman, dove toward the hole. He got leather on the ball, but that only slowed it down.
Yeah, that would have been an outstanding play. Him getting to that ball alone was something. That ball was hit hard to his left, and he dove, but hit on the end of his glove.
So the Dodgers now threatening first and third, nobody out against Jeff Samardzija. Samardzija needs a strikeout right here as he faces Matt Kemp. Infield back. Breaking ball is low and outside, ball 1. Yeah, this is where, if you are a power pitcher, there are certain spots in the game where you simply need a strikeout. And this would be one right now.
That's right.
Now the 1-0 and time called. Again, Kerwin Danley is calling balls and strikes today. Umpires in the light blue short sleeve shirts with the gray slacks. The 1-0. There's a strike in the count, 1-1.
That looked like a slider there, and he was fooled on it.
Samardzija, in 27 big league innings with the Cubs last summer, had 25 strikeouts. He's ready for the 1-1. And the pitch. Fisted foul back to the screen, and now it's 1-2. He's got a great arm.
Yes, he does. He can, the key for him is just a little more experience. He's got the 3 pitches, and that fastball is anywhere from 95 to 98, and he's got that split finger. If he can get good control with that pitch, and as hard as he throws, that's dynamite.
Here's a breaking ball low and away. Kemp laid off the pitch in the dirt. Nice dig by Soto. And the count is now 2-2. Cubs got a run in the bottom of the first. Michael Hoffpauer bouncing into a double play with the bases loaded. Infielders looking for a ground ball, playing deep. Lee holding the runner, Blake at first. Here's a ball missing low and away, 3-2.
Well, I got to believe the runner would be going here.
On deck is Blake DeWitt. Samardzija, born in Merrillville, Indiana, makes his home in Valparaiso. Spent part of the winter there and part of the winter in downtown Chicago.
Yeah.
Now the 3-2. Runner does not go. The pitch, low, ball 4. Ronnie, you were just talking about the command.
Yeah.
I think for most power pitchers, that's always a concern.
Always a concern, Pat. And the more experience, the release point is so important with pitchers. And you get that, the one thing I look at with a guy like, you've got to be looking fastball. And if he can get that breaking ball over the plate or that fork ball, that's his out pitch.
Blake DeWitt batting left-handed, swings and misses on a changeup, and it's 0-1. DeWitt playing second base today. The Dodgers just a few days ago signed Orlando Hudson as a free agent second baseman. Hudson figures to be their everyday guy. Now Samardzija's 0-1. Infield back. Bouncing ball back to Samardzija. Throws home. There's one. Soto to first. Double play.
Nice play.
1, 2, 3, double play. Exactly what Samardzija was looking for.
Boy, and I tell you, he doesn't come off the mound that far, and he just his follow through. He just backhand that ball, came right home, and gave Soto a lot of time to throw to first base. Very pretty play with the bases loaded and nobody out. Wow.
Samardzija is an athlete.
Yep.
Former football receiver and a very good one for Notre Dame.
Well,
2 outs and a man at third.
He definitely would have went high in the draft.
He had 27 touchdown catches for the Fighting Irish. The left-handed batting Delwyn Young slaps it foul off to the left. 2 outs and a man at third. Blake the runner at third. Delwyn Young at DH, the designated hitter in effect today, even though both teams are National League clubs.
I was talking to Lou about that, Pat.
Here's a fastball high.
He said that Torrey called and wanted to use DH, and I think with 39 games, why not? Get more guys, look at more guys. You got a lot longer and more games to look at some minor league ball players. So they'll probably be using his DH. And
in there for a strike, and the count now is 1-2.
And if tomorrow, if Milwaukee wants to use it, Lou said we'll do it.
And as you get closer to opening day, certainly you'll have your pitcher's bat.
Yeah.
And get them some hitting work in. Here's the pitch. Fastball fouled away.
Wow.
Runners at second and third, 2 down. Top of the second. Cubs lead 1-0. Samardzija trying to work out of it. Tony Abreu is on deck. Well, the big question mark for the Dodgers is, will they sign Manny Ramirez? That's been the story all winter. Here's the pitch. Fastball very high. It was about 95 miles an hour.
Yeah. And, the one thing you think about Manny Ramirez, where's he going if he doesn't sign with the Dodgers? And I just can't understand why he wouldn't sign a 1-year deal for $25 million. I'd sign for 5.
Here's the 2-2. Just a little bit high for ball 3. 3-1. And Manny and his agent, Scott Boras, they were firm, and they said $25 million a year, and they wanted a 4-year deal.
I know it.
And they didn't come off that for a long time. Now the payoff. Very high ball 4. Second walk in the inning issued by Samardzija. Bags loaded 2 down, and the number 9 hitter Tony Abreu coming up. Cubs lead 1-0. And for every walk today, Walgreens will make a $100 contribution to Ron Santo's Walk for the Cure for JDRF. Ron was going to read those, but he said if he did, it would have sounded like he was bragging about his walk. And we certainly don't want that. Not the first day of the Cactus League. Here's Abreu swinging and missing 0-1. Tomorrow is game 2, and you can start bragging then, perhaps.
Yeah.
Outfield straight away. Abreu lines one to center, a base hit. The Dodgers are going to take the lead. 1 run is in. Kemp on his way home. The throw goes to third, not in time. Down to second goes Tony Abreu. Reed Johnson tried to throw to third. It was late, and Abreu takes second on the throw to third base. Dodgers lead 2-1. So the wildness of Samardzija comes back to sting him.
Yeah, and that last pitch, Pat, was a fastball down, and you've been in this game a long, long time, and left-handed hitters love that low fastball. They golf it, and he golfed it right up the middle. And Johnson made a good throw, but like a hair late.
Dodgers lead 2-1, and Juan Pierre the hitter. And Dodgers at second and third. Larry Rothschild quickly out to the mound. This will probably be the final inning for Samardzija. Lou Piniella will use several different pitchers today. Pierre takes a strike. The third baseman scales shallow because Pierre, a very efficient bunter, one of the best bunters in the game. And even with 2 outs in a spot like this, he's been known to lay him down. Here's the 0-1. Big chop right side, gloved by Lee on one hop, and Derek takes it to the bag for out number 3. Samardzija gives up a couple of runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 2 Dodgers left. After an inning and a half, the score, Dodgers 2, Cubs 1. Bottom of the second, Pat and Ron with you. Thanks for being with us today. Cubs and Dodgers in the Cactus League opener. Cubs got a run in the first. Dodgers got a couple in the top of this second. Let's see if the Cubs can answer right back as Mike Fontenot steps in and takes a fastball outside. Ball 1. Fontenot, Reed Johnson, and Richie Robnett against Claudio Vargas. Vargas coming back. Fontenot hits a high fly ball into shallow left center. Looking up into the sun is the center fielder, and that is Matt Kemp to make the catch.
And we talk about the sky and how high it is here in Arizona. What they talk about is when that ball gets up there high in with the sun, it's very hard. You'll see a lot of balls dropped in spring training because it's so severe with that sun and that blue sky.
Here's Reed Johnson, a .303 hitter for the Cubs last season. Takes a fastball strike, and it's 0-1. Johnson also made one of the best catches in the entire big leagues last season in Washington, D.C.
Oh, boy. They still play that.
Swinging a foul back, and it's 0-2. He was playing center field. It was hit back near the wall in left center. He took off in a headlong dive after about a 40-yard sprint. Made the catch, fully outstretched, landed on his stomach, slammed into the wall head first. You had to see it to believe it.
Yeah, I know it.
And he got up and his hat was all bent out of shape.
Well, you know, it looked like he was going to go head first right into that fence. And he caught it, and fortunately he was just short of that fence.
He only knows how to play one way.
I know it.
He takes a curve outside. It's 1-2, and that's all out all the time.
If he had not hurt his back, he'd still be with the
Toronto Blue
Jays, yeah.
Now the pitch, line fouled off to the right out of play into the crowd. There are some empty seats down the lines. We have a good audience, not a sellout, but
no.
This park holds about 10,000 plus another 2,000 on the grassy hillsides out beyond the barriers.
And you got to remember, it's the middle of the week and first day of spring training. And as the spring goes on, more and more fans come out.
We've got about 7,000, I would say, here today.
You would, huh? 7,000. 7,000.
Reed Johnson swings and misses, strike 3, 2 down. Vargas strikes out Johnson. Dodgers lead by a run here in the second, and here's Richie Robnett. Lou Piniella standing behind the batting cage, talking about the length of this spring training, and that's going to be a topic. And Ronnie, I look at it as a real challenge for all the managers here in spring training this season. Here's a pop-up. We'll get back to this in a minute. Pop-up shallow right, the second baseman DeWitt out and calling and squeezing to end the inning. 3 up, 3 down. We've played 2 in the Cactus League opener. The score, the Dodgers 2 and the Cubs 1. Third inning, Brad Ausmus first up for the Dodgers, facing a right-hander, a new pitcher for the Cubs. This is Mitch Atkins. Atkins ready to work, fires to Ausmus, who takes down low for a ball. Ausmus, a very good defensive receiver, has won 3 Gold Gloves for his work behind the plate. And the Dodgers are looking for a backup catcher this year in back of Russell Martin. There is a strike. Ausmus turns 40 years old in mid-April. And the Astros, in listening to some of their pitchers talking about Ausmus, they're going to miss this guy. Here's a looper into shallow right center, a base hit.
Well,
he's good to work. Good to work with the staff, though.
Yeah, he's very good. And Pat, as you know, for a guy that's not that good a hitter, beat up on the Cubs quite a bit.
Yeah, had some damaging
Yeah.
hits. I would be happy to tell you more about Mitch Atkins, but I let another broadcaster look at the book with his page.
Yeah. Atkins, from AA to AAA, between the two teams, won, I think, 17 ball games.
Here's Andre Ethier batting. Atkins' first pitch is in there for a called strike.
I watched him throw batting practice, and he's got a very live fastball, good sinker, very good breaking ball. He's a big kid.
Atkins, 6'3", 230 pounds. Here's the pitch. The left-handed batting Ethier looks at a ball down low. Atkins, 8 wins and just 1 loss at Iowa after going 9-6 at AA Tennessee.
So that was 16 wins?
17, you had it right.
Okay.
Yeah. And speaking of Tennessee, that's where Ryan Sandberg is going to manage this season.
Yes.
Chopper foul right side. I saw Rhino on the field before the game. He has been managing at Peoria, Class A, the last couple of seasons. Now this year he'll move up a notch to AA. And Rhino, he's not trying to hide the fact he wants to be a big league manager.
Yes, he does.
Why not?
And he'll make a good one.
Ethier struck out in the first against Samardzija. Samardzija worked 2 innings today. Ronnie, how would you assess his Cactus League opener?
Well, the command was not there like he normally has. I mean, his problem, as you said before, has a lot to do with power, a power pitcher, and I just think he was trying to overthrow the ball. He doesn't need to. But, hey, he gave up 2 runs. He was in trouble, could have given up more. So that's his first outing. Long way to go here.
Sean Marshall, who is in the hunt for that number 5 spot along with Samardzija and others, will pitch tomorrow. Sean Marshall will start the game against Milwaukee. Ethier will line one to right, hooking into the corner and going foul. A screaming line drive. Atkins hung a breaking ball.
Yeah, boy, did he ever. That was one of those breaking balls, Pat, that says, just stops there and says, hit me.
About belt high, off speed. Yeah, if you're pitching, that's not where you want to leave one.
Yeah, and, and I've always felt that the hanging breaking balls, you see a difference in the pitcher's motion. And it's almost like, I made a mistake here.
Fastball rides outside to Ethier. Osmus at first, not being held on by Lee. Dodgers now have 4 hits. The Cubs have 2. 2-1 LA in the third. Now the pitch. Fastball just outside. 2-2. Again, game number 1 of 39 spring training games. The reason for the extra length, the World Baseball Classic will take place in the middle of March for 19 days, starting on March 5th. The runner goes, the pitch, strike 3 call, throw to second, into center field, too high. Osmus will hold at second base. Soto's throw sailed over the head of Terrio, the shortstop, and into center.
Yeah.
Ethier strikes out, Ron. Go ahead.
Well, I'm just saying he just had to get rid of that ball too quick. And Osmus had a pretty good jump.
Osmus gets one of his rare stolen bases.
I know what I'm saying. But they didn't expect that. And that's why I think what happened, Soto just tried to get rid of it too quick.
And the Dodger batter, James Loney. Loney takes a strike, and it's 0-1. A man at second, 1 away. Loney had a single and started a 2-run rally for the Dodgers back in the second. Here's a swing and a foul back out of play. Osmus did not have any stolen bases a year ago.
I think that was a hit and run.
On a 3-2 pitch, yeah.
Well,
I'm looking, this is kind of surprising. When he was younger, Osmus did a lot of running, relatively speaking, for a catcher. Here's the pitch, lifted to right, down the line, long run, Robnet. Robnet gets there, makes the catch, tagging from second, and going to third is Osmus safely with 2 down. Robnet made the catch over near the right field line. 2 outs, a man at third, as Loney is retired, and here's Casey Blake. I was going to say Osmus in the minor leagues once stole 19 bases. In the big leagues had a 16 stolen base year with San Diego. It's not too bad.
No, for a catcher.
2 outs and a man at third. Here's Casey Blake. Blake had an infield single his first time. Swings and misses. 0-1. The Dodgers had to really scramble to win their division last season. They were 84-78, and they figure to be the team to beat going into this season. I think every defending division champ is, Ron. Here's a ground ball to short, scooped up by Terrio, throws him out at first to end the inning. The throw a little bit low, but Derek Lee with that big wingspan able to reach down and save the throwing error. No runs, a hit, a man left. We go to the bottom of the third. The score, Dodgers 2, Cubs 1. Bottom of the third, the Dodgers have a new pitcher in the game. This is common, especially early in these Cactus League ball games, to have numerous substitutions both on the mound and all over the field. And sometimes it takes us a little bit of extra time to identify the ball players. This is Eric Milton. Last time we saw Eric, he was taking lumps at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. He had a sore elbow. Remember, 2 years ago, he had Tommy John reconstructive elbow surgery on that left elbow and did not pitch anywhere a year ago. And he's trying to rejuvenate his career here with the Dodgers. Dodgers also taking a look at former big leaguer Jeff Weaver in camp.
Oh, yeah.
The Dodgers have some spots open with the departures of guys like Derek Lowe and Brad Penny, and in their bullpen, Takashi Saito, their closer, signed with the Red Sox. Anyway, Alfonso Soriano will be on deck as the leadoff hitter bounces one fair. That's Bobby Scales, no foul. I thought the umpire, the way he acted, was going to pump out a fair sign, but the umpire, Jeff Macias, called that foul at the last second. Yeah, he turned his body toward fair territory.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when you're umpiring, Ron, you wait until the last possible second to make your decision.
Well, when he hit that, I was kind of surprised he called it fair.
Scales takes down low. Scales, a right-handed batter. Aramis Ramirez not in the lineup for the Cubs today. Well, Ron, we were going to talk about this being a challenging spring for all of these managers with so many games and so much time.
Right.
There's a liner toward left, sinking, coming in. Pierre can't get it. Base hit. Scales slaps a leadoff single to left for the Cubs to lead off the third. And the batter is Alfonso Soriano.
Yeah, very difficult, Pat, because nobody's used to, in my day, this wouldn't be bad because, they didn't have the facilities that they have today. And, you had maybe 40 guys in spring training. Now you got 32 pitchers. You want to get everybody some work, but you do have a lot of time. I mean, they had very short workouts. They started at 10 and were through at 11:40.
Soriano takes inside. Alfonso singled and scored the Cubs' only run in the first inning. Dodgers scored on a 2-run single by Tony Abreu in their half of the second. Milton's pitch. Fastball is outside. And the count is 2-0. Milton struggled in his days as a Cincinnati Red for the most part. He had previously pitched with Philadelphia and the Yankees and the Twins. Pitched a no-hitter with Minnesota. Swing and a miss. And on a Sunday afternoon back around 2004, he took a no-hitter into the ninth inning in a game against the Cubs.
Do you remember who drove it up?
It was Michael Barrett. He hit a looper into center, and Doug Glanville slightly misjudged the ball and slipped in chasing it. Here's Soriano lining it foul. He waited on an off-speed pitch and pulled it foul down the line and left. But I remember the fans in Philadelphia booing rather loudly at Glanville for, and I don't know if he would have caught the ball or not, but he did slip as he made his first move. I think it had been raining that day.
Oh my gosh! I mean, what camera is that in your head? Gosh, I couldn't even remember.
Soriano fouls it away. I think you had a hot roast beef sandwich for lunch that afternoon, which I believe I paid for, as usual.
No, that's for sure. That's one thing you're wrong about.
Cubs trail 2-1. Good to be watching and talking about baseball again.
It sure is.
Milton's pitch. Swing and a foul back. Good cut by Soriano. But opening day for the Cubs will be Monday night, April the 6th, down in Houston. And is there any doubt it'll be Roy Oswalt pitching for the Astros?
Yeah.
I think no doubt at all. At some point here, Lou Piniella will decide upon the Cubs opening day start.
Right.
And there's no hurry. Soriano lifting one foul off to the right out of play. In fact, that was a topic of discussion wherever I was this past offseason, Ron. The pitchers that Lou Piniella used in the postseason series against the Dodgers. The order was Ryan Dempster in Game 1, Carlos Zambrano in Game 2, Rich Harden in Game 3, and Ted Lilly never got to pitch.
I know it.
But really, there was no clear-cut ace, and Lilly, on a given day, is as good as any of them.
Oh, absolutely. And he was red hot, too. He ended the season, he's a bulldog. There's no doubt about it. But the three ahead of him, too, are capable. I mean, it was, it just, when you look at the fact, what happened to Dempster, I mean, his command was good all year. They were taking a lot of pitches, Pat. He ended up walking 6 guys, and then he gave up the home run. 7 guys.
7 walks, and then James Loney hit the grand slam.
Grand slam was the killer.
We were talking with former Cub Bill Miller. Bill, the former switch-hitting third baseman who played for the 2004 World Champion Red Sox and played with the Cubs and played with the Dodgers for a while, played with the Giants. He's working for the Dodgers as a special assistant for Ned Coletti. Here's the pitch. Soriano takes inside. Runner goes. That's ball 4 to Soriano. First and second for the Cubs. Nobody out. Second inning. Soriano wasn't sure that was ball 4 right away.
Right.
And when the batter's not sure, neither are we upstairs. Here's Terrio.
And I don't know if he thought that was a strike or he forgot how many pitches.
2 on, nobody out. Cubs trail by a run here in the third. And Milton has given up both a single and a walk to the first 2 men he's faced. And here's Terrio to try to tie this ball game. He's going to bunt, and he bluffs a bunt and takes a strike. He didn't square as if he was sacrificing.
No. Looked like he was going to lay one down third base line.
Try to beat it out
Base
for a
hit. Yeah.
Shallow at third is Blake. The Dodgers have made a few changes now. Terrio waits. Milton fires. The pitch, a fastball high, and the count now 1-1. Well, if we are not told about the change, and yet we are pretty sure there has been a change, we go ahead and just make up names in the spring.
Well, we have to, Pat, because we don't get any information, and there's so many ball clubs, extra men on a team wearing the same uniform.
Terrio takes a strike. A few years ago, we were doing a game, and one of the teams, I forget, Colorado or some other club, they had brought several of their kids over from their minor league complex, and they didn't bother to tell anybody about it.
No.
So literally there were 3 different kids in the game at one time, all wearing number 17. Terrio waits. The 1-2. Loop foul off to the right and out of play. But these games are relaxed. These are not regular season games by any means. Guys are here to get their work in. That's the whole idea. Sure, you'd rather see your team win rather than lose. That's a given. But you mainly want to see good, strong individual performances. Terrio pops it up foul off to the right. And you want to see your hitters get their at-bats and get their stroke right where they want it to be come opening day.
Well, usually Lou and also Larry Rothschild likes to get his pitchers, 27, 28 innings during spring. Hitters, about 60 at bat, no more. And that's going to be that's going to be try to be worked out with a longer spring.
Line toward left. Pierre coming in, makes the catch. Runners have to hold. Terrio hit a bullet to left, but straight to Juan Pierre. Well, he hit that ball hard.
Yeah, he did.
1 away. Cubs trail 2-1. Bottom of the third. Runners still at first and second, and here's Derek Lee. Looking at Milton, again, he did not pitch a year ago. He was a dreadful 8-15 with Cincinnati with a bloated ERA of 6.47 in 2005. Here's the pitch from Milton to Lee. And Derek swings and misses on a change. The following year, he was 8-8. And then in 07, the year right before he had the elbow issue, he was 0-4, and his ERA well over 5 all 3 seasons in Cincinnati. But that's not an easy place to park, to pitch, or to park.
Or to park. I agree with you.
Very few limited spaces.
Yeah.
Today. We've talked about that. Here is a swing and a miss, and the count 0-2. Great American Ballpark. That is a hitter's yard.
Yeah, that's a home run yard. No doubt about it.
Especially when you get into those warm summer days and nights. 2 on, 1 away. Time call now by Derek Lee at the plate. Outfield straight away. Lee in the first inning had a base on balls. Scales away from second. Soriano off of first. Milton fires. Lee hits one foul off to the right and out of play. Milton gave up a lot of home runs In his days as a Red, he gave up 40 home runs in 2005. That can happen in that park.
Yeah, that's right. Gee.
And 2 on Derek Lee. Again, an open stance. Holds that bat high. White batting gloves on each hand. Lee swings at a curve. Doesn't get it.
Breaking ball in on him. Pretty good pitch, boy, with 2 strikes, Pat. Anytime a left-hander get that ball down and in, it looks like it's going to be there low and in as a fastball, and it just drops off the table.
2 down. Cubs are trailing by a run. Here's Micah Hoffbauer. Micah wrapped into a double play, the play on which the Cubs scored their only run in the first. Lefty to lefty, fastball swung on and missed.
He hangs in there real well against left-handers, Hoffbauer. He's going to be a big asset on that bench.
Hoffbauer last September the 25th had a very memorable night at New York Shea Stadium. Not only did he go 5 for 5, he takes a strike, and the count now is 0-2. But he cracked his first big league home run against none other than the great Pedro Martinez.
Yeah.
That's one for the memory banks. And he hit his second big league homer later in the game. 2 outs, 2 on. The southpaw Milton, a second glance back at second. The pitch. Curve in the dirt, blocked skillfully by Ausmus. Ausmus always very adept at keeping that ball near him.
Yeah, he's very quick behind the plate also.
Dodgers with a new third baseman in the game. This is number 72. That's Hector Luna. Luna over at third.
Yeah, remember him.
Now Milton fires again. Hoffbauer takes just outside, 1-2. Well, in the regular season a year ago, the Cubs swept all 3 from these Dodgers in a series in late May at Wrigley Field. That was part of a perfect 7-0 homestand when they also swept Colorado 4 straight. Now the 2-2. Hoffbauer strikes out swinging. The Cubs let a chance slide by the boards. They had a single and a walk with nobody out, but failed to score. We've played 3 at the beautiful Hohokam Park here in Mesa, Arizona. In the Cactus League opener, the score remains the Dodgers 2 and the Cubs 1.
From the WGN Newsroom.
Matt Kemp will lead off the Dodger fourth inning. Mitch Atkins still pitching for the Cubs. The big right-hander fires the ball line toward left. That's going to be in there for a base hit. Gloving it on one hop is the new Cub left fielder. I think that's Micah Hoffbauer. And he gets it back in. Hoffbauer stays in the game to play in left. I think that's Micah. We don't always, again, get the changes. We can tell you the new first baseman for the Cubs is Jake Fox. Jake Fox takes over for Derek Lee.
You would think Jake would be in left and Hoffbauer at first.
Mm-hmm. Here is a throw to first to chase the runner back in. Hoffbauer's best defensive spot, and we've only seen him maybe 30 or 40 games, Ron, but according to all the scouts and the minor league folks, they say that first base is his best defensive spot.
That's right.
So maybe they're just going to let him play in the outfield and try to get him some work in out
well,
there.
He's going to be playing. They're going to get his bat in there as much as possible. And so Lou wants him to get used to the outfield, right or left. And when Lou had mentioned he's going to give Lee more days off. You know, Lee doesn't like to have a day off.
Kemp running, throw to second, not in time. Soto made a good throw, but Matt Kemp steals second base. Matt Kemp, after his leadoff single, steals second. Blake DeWitt batting, and the count on Blake is now 2 balls and no strikes.
And he's going to fill in at first base also. But I've always felt that we saw him in the minor leagues, and the numbers he put up. He played mainly first base, and he's comfortable there, you know, and that has a lot to do with hitting, where you're comfortable. You know, you move to the outfield where you're not comfortable, you think about that. You're concentrating more on defense than you are hitting.
Dodgers lead 2-1, top of the fourth. DeWitt wrapped into a double play his first time. The pitch pulled on the ground sharply, base hit right field. Rounding third, Kemp heading home. The throw from the right fielder will be late. Robnett's throw was accurate, but late. And it's an RBI single for Blake DeWitt, and the Dodgers lead 3-1. Back-to-back base hits sandwiched around a stolen base. The Dodgers now lead by a pair. Let's pause 10 seconds right here for station identification. This is the WGN Cubs Radio Network. Delwyn Young batting for Los Angeles with Cubs legend Ron Santo, who is celebrating a birthday today. Pat Hughes reporting at Hohokam Park in Mesa. Beautiful, warm day. We thank you for joining us. This is our Cactus League opener as well. We'll have another game tomorrow against Milwaukee. A total of 11 spring training broadcasts coming your way, including the final exhibition broadcast from brand new Yankee Stadium. Right before the Cubs head down to Houston to start the regular season.
Yeah, that's going to be something.
For those of us making the trip, it will be. Here is the pitch high for a ball. It's not too late, Ron. We could still make a reservation for you.
Well, I've already made mine.
You're not going near New York, are you?
We got one game out there.
We do. 2 balls and no strikes on Delwyn Young. The pitch. Line toward left. It's playable for Hoffbauer. He'll make the catch. 1 away. Hustling back to first is Blake DeWitt. 3-1 Dodgers here in the fourth, and here's Tony Abreu.
Is that any relation to the Abreu who now is what?
Bobby Abreu with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim?
Yeah, that's right.
It certainly could be, Ron. Here is a pitch low and inside for a ball. It's 1-0.
So what you're saying to me is you don't know.
Clueless. Just trying to keep the names and numbers straight in this opener. That's a full-time gig.
He was another ball player that was late in going over to the Angels. I mean, with this economy and everything, there were a lot of free agents.
Still are.
And still are, is right.
And again, after the way he hit in the postseason and in the last 2 months of the regular season, Manny Ramirez, who would have ever thought that the next season would actually be underway with him still unsigned?
Well,
the next exhibition season. Ground ball to second. Scooped up by Fontenot. Go to second, one over to first. That's a double play. 4-6-3. Fontenot to Terrio to Fox. Inning over. Dodgers get a run on 2 hits after 3.5. The score, Dodgers 3, Cubs 1. Giovanni Soto leads off the Cub 4th inning, takes down low for a ball. Pat and Ron with you from Mesa. Cubs trail 3-1. Cubs got a run early as Michael Hoffpower bounced into a double play. Soto pulls a ground ball, base hit left field, past the diving Luna. Luna diving toward the hole, missed it by a foot. Leadoff single, Soto. Here's Fontenot. Dodgers got their runs. A 2-run single by Abreu in the second. And a run-scoring base hit by DeWitt in the top of this 4th. Here is Fontenot. Cubs baseball brought to you by Square D. Square D, part of the power at Wrigley Field. Nice to have Square D back again this season.
Yeah, it sure is.
Nice to have all of our great sponsors back on Cubs radio, and we think, as we have thought virtually every season we have worked together, Ron, but we think this will be another exciting season of Cubs baseball.
No doubt about it.
And we'll be very surprised if they are not a strong contender. You never know how this game is going to turn out ever. That's one of the fun things about baseball, the surprise and the unpredictability. But this team should be a solid contender all season long.
Yeah. I think we're a stronger team than we were last year. And
Fontenot pops it up, left side, playable, foul. Luna coming down the line, gloves it for out number 1.
You know, the main thing, Pat, as you know, when a team wins a division or a World Series, you got to make changes. You got to bring somebody in to keep that momentum going. And I thought Jim Henry did a wonderful job. And the main thing that Lou was talking about, Pat, was left-handed hitting. And Milton Bradley, a great pickup. Miles, another guy that can play every position in the infield.
Johnson swings at a curve. He was fooled, Ron. Go ahead.
And, we could really, with Haw Power and Garth, the outfielder...
Joey Gathright.
Gathright, a left-hander, he could field a left-handed hitting team, which is something we never had.
Here's Johnson lining a base hit to center. Advancing to second is Soto. That pitch was about shoulder high. Johnson got up on top of that fastball and rammed it into center. 2 on, 1 away. Cubs trail 3-1. And here is Richie Robnett. Meanwhile, a pinch runner to go in for Soto at second base. That is Sam Full.
It was good to see Sam. He's on the roster, which is nice.
Full is an outfielder.
And a diabetic.
Left-handed batting, Richie Robnett stands in. Eric Milton, in his second inning of work for the Dodgers, is ready, glancing back at Full, and deals. Swung on and popped up, way up, shallow center. DeWitt out and calling, and the second baseman dropped the ball, but the infield fly rule was in effect. The batter is out to runner's hole, 2 down. There was that high sky.
High sky, I'm telling you. Oh,
Ronnie, explain, because we've joked about that high sky before. Explain exactly what that means.
Well, to me, I mean, if any time you got the sun's up there, and let's say that it really affects left field, the sun just seems to be brighter here under this sky when it's this high. The way I look at it, you just lose the ball. No matter if you put your glove up, it's just you lose it. And, it's something you can't explain, but you could have a sun field in the Midwest, and sure, right field is a tough right field for anybody to play in Wrigley Field because of the sun, but it's not like this sky. I mean, it's the same sky, but I'm just talking about. I know it's hard to explain, but the sun is the main problem. It just seems like it's spread all over.
Ronnie, we have got a pitching change, I believe. Pitching coach Rick Honeycutt is out to the mound. And let me make sure it's official. Yep, it is. A pitching change is coming up. For a quick oil change, go to Oil Express. Thanks to Oil Express for sponsoring pitching changes here in 2009. We'll be back in a moment. Bottom of the fourth, the score, Dodgers 3, Cubs 1. Back in a flash on the WGN Cubs Radio Network. Here's the pitch from the new pitcher, Troncoso. It's lifted to left off the bat of Bobby Scales. Pierre is there, and he makes the catch to end the inning. Cubs leave 2. They get a couple of hits, but do not score. As we move to the 5th inning in the Cactus League opener, the score, Dodgers 3, Cubs 1.
I'll back everything you said.
Right-hander Ken Katakura is the new pitcher for the Cubs. Tall right-hander, 6'3", 198.
Yeah.
Or Japanese star Ronnie.
Yeah, he's 35 years old, Pat, and trying to make this ball club. And what I understand, he's got a good changeup, fastball, breaking ball.
Juan Pierre bluffs a bunt as the 5th inning commences and takes low for ball 1. Cubs trail by a score of 3-1. Each team has 5 hits. Katakura coming back to Pierre. He slug bunts it towards short. One hop to a charging Terrio, throws him out. Not your classic bunt. As Pierre saw the third baseman Scales charging, and he tried to slap it past Scales. I think that was what he was trying to do.
That's exactly right, Pat. Scales was way in, which that's the way you would play him, because and he thought, well, I could slap it by him, but he slapped it right to the shortstop, Terrio. And he slapped him out.
Terrio charged it quickly. You've got to make a quick play when Pierre is running. He can really scoot. One away, here's Brad Osmus. Fastball is in there for a called strike. The new left fielder for the Cubs is Brad Snyder. Sam Fold remains in the game in center. The new Cubs catcher, Coy Hill. Curve is in for a strike, and it's 0-2. Brad Osmus, batting for the 3rd time, has lined out and singled. Is the one by Katakura, the pitch. Change is in the dirt. Check swing, no swing. Katakura sports a bright blue glove. You don't see many of those in baseball.
I think the only there was another pitcher, a Japanese pitcher, that had a blue glove. I'm trying to think.
Osmus takes inside, a check swing. It's 2-2. Katakura in his Japanese career played in 4 different cities: Shinichi, Osaka, Yokohama, and Yomiuri. There's going to be a quiz later on, Ron. I hope you're getting this. Fastball, strike 3 called. Osmus. Confused about all those cities, perhaps. 2 down. And here is Andre Ethier. Ethier has struck out twice. Katakura, the 3rd Cubs pitcher of the day. Jeff Samardzija started, gave up 2 runs in the first 2 innings. And Mitch Atkins allowed a single tally in his 2-inning stint, and now Katakura. Katakura has been both a starter and a bullpen man in his Japanese professional career. The 1-0 by the lanky right-hander. Swing and a miss. Nope, a check swing.
Has he played for any major league team?
No, he's trying to become a big leaguer in America for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And as you said, he's not a spring chicken.
No.
He'll be 36 in July. Here's the 2-0 outside for a ball. The count 3-0. He's been kind of a strikeout guy in Japan, averaging just under a strikeout per inning. Now the pitch. Wrapped on the ground, right field base hit. Sharp ground ball single to right by Andre Ethier. Dodgers collecting their 7th hit of the day, a 2-out single. And here's James Loney.
They got a lot of left-handed bats on this club.
Dodgers have a nice balanced order.
Yeah.
And
switch hitters, right?
A couple.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, Ron, if they do get Manny Ramirez back, he adds a whole new dimension to their team.
Yeah.
He turns a good offense into a superior offense.
Yeah.
But they've got guys like Loney, who drove in 90 a year ago. Of course, he burned the Cubs with that grand slam in Game 1 of the playoffs. Here is a strike. You've got Andre Ethier, who hit .305 and had 20 home runs. You got Matt Kemp, a .290 hitter. Pretty solid productivity from 3 or 4 guys.
And Martin, their catcher, good hitter.
He's good. He's a tough out.
Yeah.
You've got Rafael Percal, the leadoff man, who's not playing today, but he's a dynamic leadoff batter with power and base-stealing ability.
How many home runs did
Percal?
Yeah.
Well, a year ago he was injured. He had that back surgery and played only, I think, 32 games during the regular season.
Yeah, that's right.
I was looking at his numbers earlier. Here's a pitch outside. 3-1 Dodgers, top of the 5th.
Well, what about Looney? Did he have many home runs?
Are you calling me a loony?
No, I'm calling him a loony.
His name is Loney.
Oh,
here is a pitch, a strike. Throw to second. And out at second is Andre Ethier.
Good throw.
He must have been loony thinking he could steal on Coy Hill. Inning over. Dodgers don't score. They leave none. After 4.5 the score, Dodgers 3, Cubs 1. Left-handed batting, Brad Snyder will lead off the Cubs' fifth inning against the Dodger right-hander. This is Ramon Troncoso pitching and missing low and inside, ball one. Bright and sunny and warm here in Arizona. Temperature at 80 beautiful degrees at game time. And a breeze has picked up, blowing out toward right. Troncoso's pitch is in there for a called strike. And it's 1-2.
Boy, I tell you, that last out, Corey Hill throwing out that base runner. I tell you, he's a real good defensive catcher. And he's very quick, Pat. He's got a good arm. And pitchers love pitching to him.
He's a hard worker.
Yeah.
Very likable man.
Yeah.
Coy Hill. Switch hitter. 2 balls and 1 strike. Cubs trail by 2 runs here in the bottom of the fifth. Here's the pitch. Curve, a backdoor breaking ball in there for a called strike 2. Cubs scored a run in the very first inning and have been silent ever since. Several regulars not in the lineup today for the Cubs. The pitch down low for a ball, a curve. Ramos Ramirez did not play, nor did Milton Bradley. And those guys figure to be right in the middle of the order.
I think they'll play tomorrow, probably.
Ron, with the spring starting earlier and lasting longer, it's about 2 weeks longer than it normally would be with the World Baseball Classic. Here's a pitch, ball 4. Leadoff walk. Snyder gets the leadoff pass here in the bottom of the fifth, and the batter is Ryan Theriot. I wouldn't be surprised. In fact, I think I read where Lou Piniella and some other managers have said, you know, the spring is so long, there might be some days where I might just tell guys, don't even come to the park.
That's right.
Just take a day off and stay home.
I thought they're going to have 1 day a week off or something like that.
But, you know, spend a little time with your family. You don't want to get burned out before the long 162 games even begins. Theriot takes a strike. Ryan is 1 for 2 with a single and a line out. How many at-bats as a player did you need to feel like you were ready to go?
I think it was a few more than what these guys need because, you know, a lot of us, Pat, put the ball.
Line to left, base hit, Theriot. Stopping at second is Snyder. Theriot looks in mid-season form.
He hit, Theriot was telling me he did a lot of hitting this winter. And he's another hard worker. And now he's going to be the bench run for him.
Theriot goes 2 for 3, hit the ball hard all 3 times. Leaves the game now for a pinch runner. And this is Darwin Barney. Darwin Barney.
I would say 70 to 80.
That's a lot of at-bats.
Yeah. Well, they expect these guys to get 60.
Here's the pitch in there for a called strike. This is Jake Fox. Fox batting for the first time. So Barney is running at first. It's Darwin Barney. Not Barney Rubble. Here's the pitch. Check swing. It's a swing and a miss. Fox went too far. He got fooled on a breaking ball that time. 0-2. Snyder at second and Barney at first. Fox awaiting Troncoso's 0-2 pitch. Bouncing ball foul past first. The Cubs home opener at beautiful Wrigley Field. It'll be Monday, April the 13th against the Colorado Rockies. And even though the Cubs have already sold quite a few tickets, there are a lot of tickets remaining for regular season games. Give the Cubs a call at 1-800-THE-CUBS. Fox lines one to left, curling foul.
Well, that was
hanging curve.
Oh, man. I could hit that from up here.
He pulled it foul, however. Yeah, give the Cubs a call at 1-800-THE-CUBS. If you're calling from out of state, call 866-652-2787. 2827. Or you can go online on the internet to Cubs.com for Cub ticket information. Here's the pitch, fastball high. 1-2. The Cubs will open on Monday, the 13th of April, against the Colorado Rockies. That's a day game. After a day off, Game 2 in that series resumes on Wednesday, April the 15th. And then right away, the St. Louis Cardinals come in for 4 games, starting on April the 16th, a Thursday. Here's the pitch. Curve fouled away. That'll be an interesting 4-game series.
We played the Cardinals early.
4 at Wrigley the next weekend, in St. Louis for 3 more, so 7 in April. Just looking at some of the unusual things about the schedule this season, Ron. The White Sox play the Cubs at Wrigley in a midweek series for the first time ever, not a weekend. Here's the pitch, bouncing ball to third, knocked down by the Dodger third baseman. Luna throws to second, not in time. Everybody is safe. Luna got caught in between hops, had to really fight that sharp 2-hopper, knocked it down. His throw to second too late. Everybody is safe.
Yeah, in fact, that's a play, Pat. I mean, Luna decided to go to second, but he had a better chance of going to first with that. Whether he would have been late, we don't know, but he was definitely late getting that ball to second base. All right, let's score a couple runs here.
Bags loaded, nobody out. Cubs trail 3-1, bottom of the 5th. Not sure if that was a hit or an error.
That's got to be an error.
Michael Hoffbauer batting and takes outside for ball 1.
Well, he's had a couple opportunities, so let's see if he can get it done here.
Hoffbauer, the designated hitter, was believed to be in left field for a brief time earlier. In fact, designated hitting right now. Here's the pitch. Check swing is down low for a ball. Things are a little looser in the spring.
I understand that. No, so he just went from left back to the
It's very common, Ron. Especially by left-handers. Infield back, Troncoso's pitch. Lifted foul off to the left and out of play. Hoffbauer, incredibly, in the minor leagues a year ago, in just 71 games at AAA Iowa, drove in 100 runs. Now, that's less than half of a season. That's not easy to do. Anytime you average more than an RBI per game for any extended period of time, you are really driving in a lot of runs.
And don't forget the spring he had last year.
Don't forget the time he had in left field earlier today. It's 2-1.
Well, there was a left-hander out there.
Here's a drive into deep right center. All the way back. This ball's got a chance. Grand slam.
All right.
Michael Hoffbauer has just belted a grand slam, and the Cubs lead 5-3.
He got all of that one. Wow. That ball jumped off his bat into right center. 4 runs right there.
Michael Hoffbauer has turned the game around with one swing. A drive of about 420 feet. And the Cubs have their second different lead of the day. Here's Sam Fuld taking a strike, and it's 0-1. Still nobody out. He got all of that one.
Oh, did he ever? That ball was a line shot.
Here's a liner towards center off the bat of Fuld. Kemp going back makes the catch. One away. So a walk, a single, an error, and a grand slam from Michael Hoffbauer. Thinking of challenges for Lou Piniella, that'll be one also, Ron, to figure out where and when to give Michael Hoffbauer his at-bats and his playing time. Here's a ground ball to short. Abreu will throw out Fontenot, 2 down.
Well, you know, that's a good point, Pat, and he will, because just sitting down with him when he got down here and we talked about the long spring, and he said, well, I'm just going this season, he's going to rest a lot of the guys more. And talking about Derek Lee, he feels at the end there they were a little bit tired. Everybody would be, but I think you're going to see Hoffpauir in there quite a few times. He was talking about both Fontenot and Miles getting 400 at-bats each.
Doug Deeds is the batter. Deeds will take outside for a ball. Well, Hoffpauir is on his way up. He is going to be an everyday big leaguer before too much longer.
Oh, absolutely.
So he's on the rise, and he's not quite ready, perhaps, to play every single day this season. But his time is coming. Here's a swing and a drive off to the left, out of play. You just can't hold down a young guy like that, Ron, much longer, who is capable of really doing some big things on offense.
Exactly. And he's not a guy, Pat, that hits the ball out of the ballpark. He hits all fields. I mean, he's going to be a power hitter hitting for an average.
Deeds takes inside for a ball. Cubs lead 5-3. Bottom of the 5th, 2 down. One of the concerns I know for a lot of baseball people, Ron, when you think about a young guy who is chomping at the bit, ready to play, it's a little more difficult for guys like that than it would be for a veteran player who's been around the big leagues for 10 years to assume that semi-part-time, semi-starting role, if you know what I'm saying.
Sure, I know what you're saying.
Because they've been around, they know, hey, this is just the way it is.
That's right.
But for a young guy, man, he wants to get out and show what he can do. Here's a chopper back to the mound, fielded by Troncoso, and he throws out Deeds to end the inning. But the Cubs score 4 on the granny by Michael Hoffpauir. And at the end of 5, the score, Cubs 5, Dodgers 3. Cubs have made a few more changes as we move into the 6th inning here in the Cactus League opener. On the mound, a new right-hander. We'll identify him momentarily. But again, the Cubs' home opener is against Colorado. That opening homestand, Colorado for 2 games, the Cardinals for 4, and then Cincinnati in, starting on the night of Tuesday, April the 21st. So a 9-game homestand at Wrigley Field to begin. And again, for Cub tickets, call 1-800-THE-CUBS or visit online the Cubs website, www.cubs.com. The new pitcher is a young Cub right-hander by the name of David Patton, Patton. Louis Rivas is the new third baseman. And the left-handed batting James Loney leads off the Dodgers' 6th inning and takes low for ball 1. Cubs 5, Dodgers 3. Andres Blanco is the new Cubs second baseman. Next pitch outside for ball 2, 2-0. Loney has singled and flied to right. And Darwin Barney is the new Cubs shortstop. There's a strike, and it's 2-1.
And, you know, the minor leagues camp doesn't start until the 12th, I think, of March, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Here's the 2-1. Bounce sharply right side. Diving, knocked down by Fox. It rolls away from him. Infield single Loney.
Well, nice. Fox comes up with that. That would have been a great play, but he did a good job getting to that ball. Backhanding it, just didn't hold on to it.
Both teams making changes. The new pinch runner at first now is Valentino Pascucci. Pascucci is running for Loney at first. And Casey Blake's replacement, Hector Luna, is batting, and he fouls one over our heads and out of play. The field still in bright sunshine, nice warm day, folks in short sleeves, shorts.
Oh, I mean, it's absolutely beautiful.
You know, this winter in Chicago, Ronnie, we did not have many days where we could wear shorts. Not outside. Here's a pitch in there for a strike. I've
really felt that what I'm hearing this winter was, geez. When I came into the convention and
chopped toward third, that's a foul ball.
And it was 37 below zero.
Builds character, Ron.
Yes, it does.
No balls and 2 strikes on Hector Loney. Yeah, these last 2 winters have been treacherous. Cold, snow, just kind of a relentlessness. I know it was kind of rainy back in Chicago today. Supposed to get colder for the weekend, but we got baseball for you tomorrow.
You had some snow, didn't you, too, just recently?
Oh, yeah.
6 inches.
Blake bounces one to the right side. Glove by Blanco. Go to second. One over to first. Late. They get the lead man. Blanco ranging toward the hole. The second baseman made a nice pick. Fed the ball to Barney. And Barney's throw late to first. 1 out, 1 on for Matt Kemp. Scratch Kemp. This is Jason Repko. Repko batting for Kemp. Cubs lead 5-3 over the Dodgers. Top of the 6th, 1 away. First offering in the dirt. Skillful save by Coy Hill. That was a tough play.
Yeah.
That pitch was 3 feet outside, and it landed about a foot in front of the plate, and it was a curveball.
He's got a good chance, Pat, of being the backup catcher, because what Lou wants is a left-handed catcher. Baco is also in camp. We acquired him in January, left-handed hitter. That's what he wants. Soto's going to be doing the majority of the catching, but it's always good to have a secondary receiver that's very good with the glove and left-handed hitter. You know, that's what you want. His biggest problem, Corey, is with the breaking ball. And
fly ball, shallow right center. Out goes Blanco. In comes Fold. It drops for a base hit. The throw goes toward third, cut off. Runners at first and third, one away. A looping single off the bat of Repko into shallow right center. Dodgers at the corners with one away. Cubs lead 5-3. And here's Blake DeWitt, left-handed batting infielder. And I think playing at Wrigley Field for half of your games with all of the day games in that summer sun and humidity, I think a backup catcher is maybe even more important for the Cubs than it might be for some other teams.
It's going to help. I mean, Soto getting, he caught a lot of games last year, and it's always going to help to give him a little more rest because he's one of the few good hitting catchers in baseball.
And you want to keep that batting stroke strong.
Absolutely.
Because he can do such good things for you if he is healthy and strong.
Yeah.
Now, most catchers, as we've discussed many times, Ron, they simply wear down physically in August and September. That bat gets heavier, and they don't hit nearly as many homers or drive in as many runs at the tail end of the year.
And Pat, the main thing that you look at is that sitting, getting up, sitting, being down that long, your legs are going to have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And you need your legs to hit, too.
Plus, there's a variety of foul tips that nick you on the hand and wrist and areas where you're not protected. Swing and a miss. Nice curveball. Got him swinging. 2 down. Good overhand hook by David Patton. 2 outs, and here's Delwyn Young. Cubs lead 5-3 in the 6th. David Patton is just 24 years old, born in your hometown of Seattle, Washington, Ron.
Oh, man.
Makes his home in, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, Enumclaw?
Enumclaw, yeah.
Enumclaw.
You're right.
Beautiful state of Washington. 2 outs, 2 on. Here is Delwyn Young. Young has walked and flied out. Patton's pitch, swing and a foul at the plate.
He in our minor league system?
Patton was a Rule 5 acquisition by the Cubs last December from the Cincinnati organization.
Okay.
He has pitched in Class A ball for the last 4 years in a row.
Wow.
All out of the bullpen. Has not started a game since 2005. Here's the pitch outside. This is interesting, Ron, because he has not been a big closer, and yet he's been only in the bullpen in the minor leagues. It's kind of an unusual combo. If a guy's been in the minors and he's good and he's going to be in the big leagues someday, chances are they'll give him a chance to close games or maybe start some games, but not him. He got into 50 games with Modesto in Class A ball in the Red system a year ago. The pitch looped foul off to the left and out of play.
That's boy, it'd be that long in the minor leagues. I mean, and not progressing. But you never know. That you get up here and you get an opportunity. That adrenaline starts to flow.
High fly ball right field. It is playable for the new right fielder, and that is Robnet rather, making the catch to end the inning. And upon closer look, that is not Robnet or Hobnet or any other kind of net. We'll identify him later on. Dodgers don't score. They leave 2 at the end of 5 1/2. The score, Cubs 5, Dodgers 3. Before we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. This is the WGN Cubs Radio Network. With Ron Santo, Pat Hughes, and Mesa at Hohokam Park. Bottom of inning number 6. The Dodgers' new left-hander is a young man by the name of Carmen Cali. C-A-L-I, Cali.
Left-hander that looks like he's a sidewinder. I mean, now that I see him, he's gone back to, when he was warming up, he was throwing a little sidearm, but now he's up in that three-quarters.
First pitch, big chop, one hop to third, fielded by Luna. The toss across the diamond is in time to retire the Cubs leadoff hitter, Coy Hill. One away here in the bottom of inning number 6. By the way, the right fielder that we misidentified in the top of the inning is Doug Deeds. Deeds, the Cub right fielder, as Luis Rivas, former Twin, former Pirate, takes high from Cali, ball 1. Dodgers have a new catcher in the game right now. This is Danny Ardoin, A-R-D-O-I-N, pronounced Ardoin.
Ardoin.
The 1-0 pitch is inside for a ball, 2-0. Cubs 5 runs, 7 hits, no errors. Dodgers 3 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. Line toward left, down the line, dropping. That ball's going to be in there for a base hit. Backhanding it on one hop is the Dodger left fielder. It's a single for Luis Rivas with 1 away. Dodgers have a new left fielder in the game. I think that is Jason Repko. It is not Juan Pierre. Of that I am certain. 1 away, 1 on. My scorecard is an absolute mess. How about yours, Ron?
Well, mine's perfect.
Because you stopped scoring in the 2nd inning. 1 out, 1 on. Here's Snyder.
I have kept, but I haven't changed the name.
You've still got the original starting lineups in there.
Exactly. Are you kidding me? Yes.
1 away, 1 on. Cubs lead by 2. Bottom of inning number 6. Lefty to lefty. Snyder waits the pitch by Cali. High and inside for a ball. This guy does not look like he'd be fun to hang in there against if you're a left-handed batter.
There you go.
No thanks.
Like you said, he really turns his body and hides that ball. It just comes out of nowhere. And you're going to be buckle those knees a little bit.
The attendance today, 7,916.
Boy, you were right on. I'm glad we're not playing that game anymore.
The 1-1, a swing and a miss by Snyder. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
What did I win during that? You recall? I forgot.
One season you wrapped out about 30 wins out of 162. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Roundhouse curve got him. Snyder reaching for one outside. 2 down. 2 gone. And the batter is Darwin Barney. Darwin Barney, a guy with 2 first names. We always like to point those out to you. I thought about that, reading about the concert that is going to be staged at famous Wrigley Field this summer, Ron. The 2 piano-playing legends, Elton John and Billy Joel.
Yeah, I know it.
Both guys with 2 first names. Chopped to short, fielded by Abreu, over to DeWitt. There's the force. That's the inning. Cubs don't score, leave 1 after 6. Cubs 5, Dodgers 3.
Exclusive Weather Channel 4.
Toby's is always.
Cubs baseball today brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. Fifth Third Bank, they've been with us for several years. They sponsor the fifth inning every single day. Come to think of it, that probably would have been a very appropriate time for us to give them a pop, the Fifth Third Bank fifth inning. But
yeah,
game one, Ronnie, we're trying to stay up with things here. And anyway, we are very appreciative of Fifth Third Bank being back with us again this season.
It's great.
Top of inning number 7. Cubs have a new hurler in the game. And he is a right-hander. He fires down low. This is ball 1. Sometimes you look at a number, you think you have the right number, then you go to your roster. For example, I thought this guy was wearing number 11. So I went to the roster and I looked down and it says number 11, Ivan De Jesus. Ivan is a coach for the Chicago Cubs. There is a pitch in there for a strike.
Well, what number is this?
Well, I'm trying to get a definitive idea. I can tell you it's not 11. Here's the pitch in there for a strike. I think it is 71.
Yes.
And if that is the case, this is Esmailin Caridad.
Yeah, Caridad. I watched him throw batting practice. This kid's got a good arm.
And a long name. Here's the pitch wrapped on the ground to second. To his left, making a nice pick is Blanco, and he throws him out, 1 away. Cubs 5, Dodgers 3, top of inning number 7. Also, Geico Insurance is with us this year, Ronnie. Geico, they are going to do one after the 15th out of every game because their famous catch line is 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on auto insurance. Geico. We'll try to read that after the 15th out of every game. But thanks to Geico.
Are you going to keep track of that?
I'll sure try.
Yeah, good.
I know you're taking care of all the scoring changes.
I could stop off and get a watch.
Here's a ground ball to first, charging, gloving. Fox steps on the bag. That's out number 2. 2 outs quickly here in the 7th inning. Connie Dodd will now face the Dodger catcher Ardois.
Boy, I tell you, so happy you're a play-by-play guy.
Most days I am too, Ron. 2 outs, nobody on. Here's Ardois. These are a good way to get the season going. Stay very alert with all these changes. Here's a fastball up and in, ball 1.
Oh, man.
Every once in a while, I'll glance over at your score sheet.
Perfect.
And in a box, instead of, like fly to center or 6 to 3, I'll see the letters WL. Would that mean wasn't looking? Here's the 1-0 inside for a ball.
Instead of putting that down, I put X's. So that's like wasn't looking.
Sometimes there's a DRM. Doesn't really matter. Here's a swing and a miss. And the count 2-1.
All that matters, Patrick, that we're back. The season is starting, and there's nothing like it.
And I know there are a lot of people back home that feel that same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know they're listening today. Bless your hearts. We thank you for being with us. Chopper back to the mound. Caridad throws him out. A 1-2-3 inning for the young right-hander. Nice job. We go to the bottom of the 7th. Cubs lead 5-3, and it's time for the 7th inning stretch here at Hohokam Park in Mesa, Arizona.
The 7th inning stretch brought to you by Casino Arizona, who invites you to play for a chance to live on Easy Street. Today, one lucky fan has been selected at random to experience life on Easy Street with a dining and entertainment package from Casino Arizona at the 101 in McKellis. Congratulations to Kathy Lee, seated in section 216, row double C, seat 2. Direct your attention to the top of the Cubs dugout and join Mark the beer guy and Bob the music teacher in singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game. 2, 3. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and cracker jacks. I don't care if I ever get back. And we'll root for the Cubs. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Hey, let's get some Ron. Happy birthday, Ron Santo.
WGN.
Dodgers have a new pitcher in the game. Nick DeBar, a right-hander, will work for Joe Torre's ball club. Cubs lead 5-3. Michael Hoffpower's 5th inning grand slam, the headliner in this game today. Jake Fox will lead off the Cubs 7th. Nice crowd on this beautiful day in Arizona, settling back into their chairs. Some empty seats today, not many. Almost 8,000 in the park.
It's, for the first game, and, the one thing that, I'm thinking about, and I'm sure you are.
Fox hits a high fly ball to left. Well hit back toward the wall is Repko. Repko near the stands will make the catch. Right up against the wall in front of the flagpole in deep left center. One down, Ron.
Yeah. The economy, everybody's rightly so. I mean, I can't even stand to watch the news to hear how many people unemployment. And here in Arizona, 7%. I mean, it's unbelievable. And you just wonder what it's going to do. And it's got to have some effect. It's having an effect on everything. And to see a nice crowd like this is really nice.
Here is Michael Hoffpower. And a pitch low and inside. Hoffpower skipping a rope to avoid being nailed. Nick DeBar, a right-hander for the Dodgers. He's a big boy. Looks about 6'6", 240 pounds. That that would be a change from when you played, Ron. I know you had some big guys on the mound, but these days every team has 4 or 5 guys that could play in the National Football League.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, they're much bigger. I mean, we had pitchers that were big, but not like they are today.
Pulled on the ground, foul, right side.
I mean, every pitcher today is 6'1" to 6'6", and they all throw hard.
Cubs baseball today brought to you by Citgo. Citgo sponsoring the 7th inning stretch. Cubs lead 5-3 in the 7th. Hoffbauer bounces it foul off to the right. And again, we know you're listening in back home. We'll be right back out here tomorrow. Milwaukee comes over. They should have an interesting looking team. They've had a lot of changes.
Yeah.
They lost their top 2 starting pitchers, C.C. Sabathia and Ben Sheets, both to free agency.
Where did Ben Sheets end up?
Chopper foul. The last I heard, he was going to have some surgery on his arm, his elbow. He was signed to a deal tentatively by Texas. The Rangers put him through a physical. He failed the physical. So he's going to have elbow surgery. Here is a swing and a foul off to the right, out of play. And we could tell when we saw him at the end of last year, he was not himself. He wasn't throwing nearly as hard. That curve didn't have that big snap to it.
No.
But that's the last I heard. So I don't know if he's going to do any pitching for anybody this season. Certainly not in the first few months. Sabathia, of course, signed with the Yankees.
Right.
But the Brewers also, their bullpen took a hit. Their closer, Solomon Torres, retired. They lost Guillermo Mota. Mota went back to the Dodgers. They lost Brian Schaus, their primary left-handed man.
Yeah.
Driving to deep left center on the run. Repko gets there to make the catch. 2 down. Hoffbauer is out, number 2. So the Brewer pitching staff is almost going to be a brand new look, top to bottom.
And they're still talking about maybe moving Hart. They talked about that. And
Prince Fielder?
Prince Fielder. I can't believe that.
Well, they've got some kids, Ron, in their system. And I think maybe, and again, when you hear these rumors, that's all they are right now. The speculation would be because the Brewers lost so much pitching that they may need to trade an everyday player to get some more pitching back. That's one theory.
Yeah.
And it may or may not happen. But they've got a kid, a shortstop. I think his name is Alcides Escobar. And we've seen him. He is quick. And he's got tremendous range at short. And I think he's going to be an everyday big league shortstop with somebody before too much longer. Here's a chopper off the bat of Sam Full to the right side, fielded by DeWitt, and he throws him out. The Cubs go quietly in the 7th. We go to the 8th. The score remains Cubs 5, Dodgers 3. Cubs baseball brought to you by Square D. Square D, part of the power at Wrigley Field. Cubs 5, Dodgers 3 with Ron Santo, Pat Hughes at Hohokam Park in Mesa. Micah Hoffpauer belted a grand slam in the 5th inning. And that is the difference as we move to the late innings. Top of inning number 8. A left-hander on the mound for the Cubs at this point. This is Jason Waddell. Lefty to lefty. First pitch going to miss. The bat goes flying into the stands. Everyone's okay.
Wow.
The Dodger batter. And we are trying to identify him. That might have been Valentino Pascucci. Nope, that is Xavier Paul. Xavier Paul. He swung and missed. He's a left-handed batter, and on his follow-through, the bat just went sailing out of his hands over the first base dugout and about 25 rows deep, and I saw it. It hit off of a railing, so the bat did not hit anybody on the fly, thankfully.
At first, I thought the way the bat was spinning, I mean, that ball went over the box seats.
Sure did.
The bottom of the stands.
And the leg kick and the next offering in there for a call strike. Well, the fans just kind of laying back and soaking up some sun in various parts of the park. There's a curve low and outside. Ron Santo right on the edge of his seat.
Well, it's been such a close ball game.
There was a broadcaster, I'm not going to mention who, that actually started packing his bag after the 7th inning in this game today. Here is a swing and a miss, strike 3. Good fastball by Jason Waddell.
I don't think we play extra innings.
I know you won't.
I wouldn't leave you for extra innings, no.
One away. And here is Valentino Pascucci. Cubs lead by 2 in the 8th. Fastball is outside. And the lefty rocks and fires again. There's a changeup down low for a ball. Cubs and Dodgers, let's see, when do they play each other in the regular season this year? Here's a pitch in for a strike. I know the Cubs visit Los Angeles in August.
And we visit San Diego twice.
2 different trips to beautiful Petco Park. Here's a foul slicing off to the right and back out of play.
How do you like our schedule?
It's got some long trips.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed, Ron, and I'm always aware, partly because of you and how difficult it is for you, and partly because it's just difficult from a ball-playing standpoint, the Cubs have a lot of road finales that are night games. Here's a ground ball to third. Nice play by Rivas. A broken bat. The bat, broken part, goes sailing over the third baseman's head. Rivas coolly makes the play, throws to first to get him. 2 down.
Yeah, boy, you'd never know he had a bat thrown at him.
That's concentration.
That is very good concentration.
But the Cubs, Ronnie, I notice, have a lot of series finales at night. Which means you don't leave till midnight.
That's right.
And you might not get into the new town until 3 in the morning.
That's it.
We're not complaining. This is just a fact of life in the big leagues.
That's the toughest. That's the toughest part about traveling.
Did you realize that the first week the Cubs are in Houston for 3, the final game is a night game on Wednesday the 8th.
Right.
Here's a roller foul. Then the 3 games in Milwaukee. Did you realize the Sunday night game? The Sunday game is a night game before the home opener at day the next day at Wrigley.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't know
That's
that.
the Sunday night game of the week. But the Cubs will, here's the pitch, swinging a foul back. They do have some rather lengthy trips. That's another thing we always look at. The Cubs in the month of June visit Atlanta, Cincinnati, and Houston on a 10-day journey. The Cubs in September have a rocky trip. They go to St. Louis, Milwaukee, and San Francisco. That'll be tough.
That's tough.
But overall, Ronnie, after all these years of doing it, here's a pitch high for a ball. It sounds corny, but I really don't worry about it. You're going to play 81 at Wrigley.
Right.
You're going to pack your bags and play 81 on the road.
Right.
And it doesn't really do any good to either worry or complain or do anything about the schedule.
No, everybody's got the same problem.
That's right. Here's the pitch outside for ball 4. 2 outs and a man on. Cubs lead 5-3, top of the 8th. And this is Jason Repko. But the Dodgers will be at Wrigley Field for 4 games starting on May the 28th. So they'll play 8 against the Dodgers, 4 in each park. 4 in Wrigley in late May, 4 at Dodger Stadium in late August. Here's a high fly foul off to the right, out of play. But again, it's interesting, the games with the White Sox.
We're on the road, and then we come home with the White Sox.
Yeah,
I'm talking about the one at the White Sox Park.
Right. Go to Detroit for 3, then come back and play 3 on the south side, and then go right back on the road to play in Pittsburgh.
For 3.
Mm-hmm. But the 3 at Wrigley against the Sox are a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday mix. Here's the pitch. Check swing foul. The 3 on the south side will be on a weekend. But for the first time ever, a Cubs-White Sox series is in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
They've always been on weekends in the past. And they'll play a night game at Wrigley against the Sox on Tuesday, June the 16th. Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him on a curve in the dirt. Strike 3. Inning over. Good job by Waddell. Walks a man, gives up nothing else. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Cubs 5, Dodgers 3. Cubs lead the Dodgers by a score of 5-3 as we move to the bottom of inning number 8. Some of the fans are heading for the exits. Some others just kind of casually hanging out and soaking up the atmosphere and the sunshine here in Mesa. Tall left-hander coming on to pitch for the Dodgers. Again, Sean Marshall will pitch for the Cubs tomorrow.
Who do they have scheduled? Marshall?
Marshall will certainly be in the mix. I am not sure who Lou Piniella and Larry Rothschild have penciled in to follow.
Oh, okay.
The Brewers will start with Giovanni Gallardo. Giovanni could very well be the ace of that staff. Young right-hander that suffered that serious knee injury at Wrigley Field early last season. And boy, that might have changed many, many things last year had he stayed healthy. Here's the pitch on the way as the bottom of the 8th inning starts. It's chopped foul by Blanco toward third. And it's 0-1. 5-3 Cubs lead. The new Dodger pitcher is Steven Randolph. Steven Randolph. Cubs had this guy in camp a few years back.
Well, everybody's looking for left-handed pitching.
Always.
Sure. Always.
I suspect it'll always stay that way, too.
Yeah.
You're always looking for lefties and catchers that can hit.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
And the 1-1, swinging a chopper foul on a changeup, left side. It's 0-2. Giovanni Soto is going to play in that World Baseball Classic for his native Puerto Rico.
So is Lily.
And Lily's going to play for Team USA. And Kosuke Fukudome will represent Japan.
Well, he's already... Fukudome will not be back here until, I think, towards the end of the month.
The Classic finishes. The championship game, I think, is slated for March 23rd, which still will allow a good 10 to 12 days before the opener.
Yeah. I heard he had a game the other, I was the day before yesterday, had a grand slam home run, drove in 6 runs, went 3 for 4. Thank you.
Fans still calling out happy birthday to Ron. I heard Ron say that a cash gift is always acceptable. There's another one. In fact, that was Jim Hendry, I believe. Now the 1-2 on the way. Hold on the ground sharply to third, down on one knee to knock it down as Luna comes up throwing to get Blanco. Out number 1.
Number 33
Du Bois.
Jason Du Bois, slugging outfielder.
Yeah.
Will pinch hit for the Cubs. One away here in the last of the 8th. Cubs have 60 players in camp. So they will have to get down to 25 by April the 6th. 35 guys will be moved. The roster breaks down. They've got 21 non-roster players. 32 pitchers are in camp. Cubs have 10 infielders, 12 outfielders, 6 catchers. Here's the 0-1. Fastball outside from Randolph, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, they'll get rid of quite a few minor leaguers come the 12th.
Here's a high fly ball, foul off to the right and out of play. Well, we always talk about those minor leaguers, Ronnie. They are in games and they are delighted to be here.
Sure.
This is the big leagues, man. They're playing on the same field with guys like Derek Lee and Ramos Ramirez and Alfonso Soriano. Here's the pitch. Fouled away back toward the screen and out of play. And they are trying to impress people like Cubs general manager Jim Hendry and manager Lou Piniella, Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach. These are not exhibitions for those kids. These are auditions.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to open up some eyes. Now the pitch. Randolph misses on a change outside. 2-2. These two teams a year ago in the regular season made it to the postseason because mainly they had good pitching.
Oh.
Dodgers had the number 1 ERA, and the Cubs were number 3. I'll tell you what would surprise you. I saw this just the other day. Cubs were number 3 in ERA, Dodgers number 1. Do you know who number 2 was?
In pitching?
The team with the second best ERA in the National League a year ago. I'll let you think about it for a minute. It surprised me. The pitch down low. That's ball 4. Du Bois gets a one-out walk.
I would say the Marlins.
No. Milwaukee.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, with Sabathia coming on.
Oh, that's right. Jeez, I forgot. Yeah.
Sabathia really turned that entire staff around.
Yeah.
But Gallardo, the kid we're going to see tomorrow, Ronnie, I was thinking about the pressure on him. Now, he's good, but he's still very young and relatively inexperienced.
Mm-hmm.
1 out, 1 on. Cubs lead by 2 in the 8th. He's the ball high.
He looked like a veteran when he pitches.
He did.
I mean, he really does. He knows what he's doing. I couldn't believe they kept him in after that accident. I couldn't believe it.
That was a grotesque injury.
Oh, my gosh.
When you saw that replay and the twist of the knee, you knew something serious had happened. And getting picked off at first. Nope. Safe at first now. Initially, they called him out, but the throw was dropped by the first baseman Johnson, and safe at first is Du Bois. Randolph had him picked off with a very good move, but the throw was dropped by the first baseman, and that's a new Dodger at first. I think that's a new Dodger at first.
Well, there's a lot of new Dodgers.
Here's a pitch by Randolph, fouled back to the screen, out of play. But I'm thinking about Gallardo, Ron. It's one thing to be on a staff when you know there's another guy who's the ace, like a Ben Sheets, C.C. Sabathia. That's fine. He's gonna be the guy that stops our losing streaks. Now, if you're 22, 23, 24 years old, and you don't have another ace on the staff, that to me is a whole different situation. Here's the ball outside. A little more pressure on that guy.
Yeah, and you wonder, though, at his age, if he'll be thinking that, because the way he can pitch, I mean, he really looked like he'd been in the game for a long time. But you make a good point there about him putting pressure on himself, but I don't think he is going to do that because maybe he won't think he's the ace of the staff. You know what I'm saying?
He's a cool kid.
Yeah.
Very poised. And I agree. He did not ever seem like he was a rookie pitcher.
No.
He looked like he had been around for a long time. Swing and a miss by Coy Hill. Cubs lead 5-3.
Great command, too.
Good changeup.
Oh, man.
And he can hit. Remember that?
Yeah.
Coy Hill swings and misses. Strike 3 on a change. 2 down.
That's Coy's problem, the off-speed pitch.
Now, play third baseman, number 20.
2 down, and here is Louis Rivas. Talk about Carlos Marmol for a moment. We did not see him today. We might very well see him tomorrow.
We will. Yeah.
And Kevin Gregg. Ron, now, let me ask you this. Going from a setup man, which Marmol has been the last 2 years, and one of the best setup men I've ever seen anywhere, but going from that job to being a potential closer, how do you see that transition?
Well, to me, it's simple. I mean, he can close. I mean, but are you going to, is what Lou said, and you don't realize it, but how important is that guy in the 7th and 8th inning to get to that closer? And the way I look at it, there's no doubt Greg can close. I mean, he's 95, 96. But I don't think it'll be any problem for him to be the closer.
Here's the 1-0, a swing and a miss.
Now, will it be a problem for Greg to go 7 or 2 innings? You know what I mean? But if you got somebody else in there that can do that, it works out. You'd be a great closer. It's really a tough decision, but I think Marmol earned it.
Here's a pitch outside to Louis Rivas. Cubs lead 5-3, bottom of the 8th. 2 outs and a man at first. Well, thinking about closers and setup men and 7th and 8th inning guys, you need all of them.
Yeah.
You need all of them. If you have an outstanding closer, but you don't have guys that can get him the ball,
that's right.
The closer does you no good.
You got it.
You can't win without good setup men.
No.
And we've seen that the last few years with the Cubs.
And it's obvious that that Marmol has no problem going 2 innings.
Here's the 2-2 from Randolph to Rivas. Swinging a pop fly, shallow right center. Should be routine. Coming in as the right fielder, and that is Davis there to make the catch to end the inning. Cubs don't score. We go to the 9th. Cubs trying to win the Cactus League opener at the end of 8. Cubs 5, Dodgers 3. Cubs 5, Dodgers 3, top of the 9th inning. Right-hander Jeff Stevens will try to close the door today for the Chicago Cubs against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Cubs being out-hit 9-8, but the Cubs lead 5-3. Micah Hoffpauer with a grand slam in the 5th inning. That, by far, is the game's big blow. First pitch, top of the 9th, outside, ball 1. Juan Castro, former Cincinnati Red, is in the Dodger camp, and he's batting right now. Castro lines a base hit to left. Leadoff single for the Dodgers, Castro. And it'll bring up Mitch Jones. 7,916 here today. Here is Jones stepping in. Stevens from the stretch. At first, Fox is holding Castro. In the bright sunshine, here's the pitch. Outside low, ball 1. Mentioned the Cubs have 3 guys that'll play in that World Baseball Classic. Ted Lilly, Kosuke Fukudome, and Giovanni Soto, representing the USA, Japan, and Puerto Rico, respectively. Here's a swing and a miss. Good fastball. The Dodgers also will be well represented. Russell Martin is a native of Canada, and he'll represent the Canadian team. Jonathan Broxton will be one of Ted Lilly's teammates on the USA Ball Club, and Valentino Pascucci will perform for Italy. Team USA should have a pretty good staff. I saw that Roy Oswald and Jake Peavy are also going to pitch. Swing and a miss. Good fastball, 1-2. And the Classic is going to start right around March the 5th. All of those clubs are starting to play exhibition games. They've been working out for weeks. Here's the next offering. Fastball is outside, 2-2. Whenever the Cubs score an insurance run, they'll be brought to you by State Farm Insurance. State Farm sponsoring all Cubs insurance runs here in 2009. Swing and a miss. He got it. Stevens reaching back for a good fastball. And he strikes out Mitch Jones. One away, top of the ninth.
Now, plate, number 7, shortstop, Ivan de Jesus Jr.
One away. This is Ivan de Jesus Jr., the son of the Cubs coach, Ivan de Jesus, taking a fastball outside, ball 1. Cubs 5, Dodgers 3, top of the ninth, one away, and a man at first. Outfield deep and pretty much straight away. Stevens fires. Here's a bouncing ball to third, one hop. Gloved by Rivas. Go to second, one over to first. Late. They get the lead man at second. Good play by Rivas. The third baseman was actually in foul territory when he cut loose of that throw to second. Blanco took the throw, avoided the sliding Castro, and his throw an eyelash late to first. The Dodgers are down to their last out. And here's Jamie Hoffman batting. Stevens trying to save it. Cubs trying to win the Cactus League opener. Two outs, right-hander against right-hander. First pitch missing, low and away, ball 1. Nice to have AT&T back on the air with us this season. They're going to sponsor this date in Cubs history and baseball history, which we love to talk about. Here's the pitch, low and outside. The runner goes. It is a steal. Technically, defensive indifference. No stolen base credited to Castro. Two balls and no strikes on Hoffman, the tying run. The pitch, swing and a miss. 2-1. Cubs 5, Dodgers 3, 2 down, top of the ninth. The 2-1. Lifted to right, out of play. The Dodgers are down to their last strike. But again, this date in Cubs history brought to you by AT&T, and we thank AT&T for sponsoring that segment, which we enjoy so much. Cubs and Brewers tomorrow, same time as today. Here's the 2-2. Check swing, it's high, ball 3. About 4,000, 5,000 fans in the park, standing, anticipating a possible Cubs win. With 2 outs, the pitch. Drilled foul deep to left and out of play. Cubs 5, Dodgers 3, top of the ninth, 2 outs. Potential tying run at the plate with a count of 2-2. Jamie Hoffman facing the Cubs right-hander Dave Stevens. I should say Jeff Stevens. The pitch missing for ball 4. Stevens missing, and now the tying run is at first. 2 down. Luis Mazza is pinch hitting for Joe Torre's Dodgers. Mazza, a right-handed batter. Hoffman leads at first. Castro from second. Fastball is high. Ball one. Now Coy Hill, the catcher, will run out to settle down Jeff Stevens just a little bit, and so will Larry Rothschild. Game one of 39 Cactus League games. This is by far the most spring games that the Cubs will ever have played. And they are trying to start on a positive note here this afternoon. A reminder, the regular season tickets at Wrigley Field are available by calling the Cubs at 1-800-THE-CUBS or visiting the Cubs website at www.cubs.com. Cubs.com or 1-800-THE-CUBS. 5-3 Cubs, top of the ninth, 2 down. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Mazza swings and misses. 1-1. Sharp breaking ball by Stevens. Outfield is deep. You don't want a ball hit over your head, which would allow the game to be tied. Here's a swing and a pop-up foul, out of play. 1-2 again. The Dodgers down to their last strike. The center fielder, Full, is way back in center, just to the right of straightaway, and only about 15 feet shy of the warning track. Now the stretch for the 1-2. The pitch by Stevens. Fastball, fly ball, deep right center. Back, it is playable for the right fielder, Dietz. He's got it, and the Cubs win. Mazza gave it a long ride, but the catch by Dietz near the track out in deep right center, and the Cubs win Game 1 of the Cactus League. The final, the Chicago Cubs 5 and the Los Angeles Dodgers 3. Back with the totals after this on the WGN Cubs Radio Network.
We just have one more break here, correct, guys? Perfect, thanks.
The game totals for the victorious Chicago Cubs: 5 runs on 8 hits and no errors. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, 3 runs on 10 hits and 1 error. The save goes to Jeff Stevens. The time of the game, 2 hours and 45 minutes in front of a Hohokam Park crowd of 7,916. Cubs win 5-3. Back to wrap it up in a moment, right after this on the WGN Cubs Radio Network.
From the WGN Newsroom, Vice
A reminder, our next broadcast is tomorrow afternoon at 2 o'clock Central Time. The Cubs take on the Milwaukee Brewers right here from Hohokam Park in Mesa. Ron Santo and I will have the game for you beginning at 2 o'clock Central Time. Please stay tuned for the postgame show. Jim Memolo is next. And our thanks to engineer Joe Pashley for a job well done. For Ron Santo, it is Pat Hughes saying thank you for listening and goodbye from the Valley of the Sun in the Cactus League opener. Once again, the final score, the Chicago Cubs 5 and the Los Angeles Dodgers 3. This has been a presentation of the WGN Cubs Radio Network.
This is the Cubs Central Postgame Show on News Talk 720 WGN, sponsored by National City Bank and Seattle Sutton's Healthy Eating. Welcome to the first Cubs postgame show of 2009. Spring training is here and the Cactus League is underway. Jim Memolo with you on this glorious Wednesday afternoon to open the baseball season, at least the spring training baseball season. And the Cubs come up with a 5-3 win over the Dodgers to open up the Cactus League in Mesa today. We will have highlights of the game as we do every game from here on out. But first, and if you forgot, we will give you a little bit of a scoreboard update. Since it is spring training, not quite what we give you during the regular season, but we'll give you the scores and some highlights and tell you what some of the ball players did in their first spring training game of 09, and then we'll get you some Cubs highlights in just a little while. First, in the Grapefruit League earlier today, Detroit beat Atlanta by a score of 5-4. Brandon Lyon gave up 3 in the fifth to lose that game for the Tigers. Jair Jurgens with 2 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, and 2 innings of work for Atlanta. Cincinnati beat Tampa Bay 7-0. Johnny Cueto, a good start for the spring for him. 3 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, no hits, no runs. Florida beats, and St. Louis wound up in a 5-5 tie after 10 innings, which, of course, happens during spring training. Don't want to exhaust the pitching staffs with extra inning games during the spring. Hanley Ramirez with a home run in that game for the Marlins. Mets beat Baltimore 9-3. Ryan Church, a couple of hits and 3 RBIs for the Mets. Angel Pagan, 3 hits for the Mets in that game as well. Yankees beat Toronto 6-1. A-Rod's 09 debut after the whole steroid story. He was booed. He was taunted. He homered. And then not so much booze. Had a couple of RBIs. Yankees win it over Toronto by a score of 6-1. Pittsburgh beat Philadelphia 8-2. Astros a 6-3 winner over Washington. In the Cactus League, 9th inning last we checked. Angels pounding the White Sox 12-3. A.J. Pierzynski, a couple of hits, a couple of RBIs in that game for the Sox. Octavio Dotel gave up 3 runs in 1 inning of work for the Sox earlier in the game. Angels lead it 12-3. Texas has a 12-5 lead over Kansas City in the 9th inning of that game. A lot of long ball in that contest in Sunrise, Arizona. Butler, Jacobs, Olivo homered for Kansas City. Blaylock, Cruz, and Hamilton go deep for Texas in that game. Oakland has tied Milwaukee 3-3. They suspended that game after 9 innings with the tie. San Francisco has a 10-7 lead over Cleveland in the 9th inning. Travis Ishikawa off to a great start in 09. He's the first ball player of this year to hit 2 home runs in 1 game, albeit in a spring training game. Still a pretty good start. And for the Indians in that game, Mark DeRosa hits his first of 09 in spring training. Arizona leads Colorado 5-3 in the 9th. Boston and Minnesota will be playing under the lights in beautiful Fort Myers, Florida, later on this evening. A couple of baseball notes before we get you to the Cubs highlights. Twin starter Boof Bonser is out for the season. He had shoulder surgery today. Miguel Tejada is going to take a pass on playing for the Dominican Republic in the World Baseball Classic. They wanted him to play first base. He didn't want to. And Lance Berkman missed the spring training opener for the Astros because of a sore shoulder. And that's a look at the first day of spring training baseball on the scoreboard and some of the highlights out there. Coming up, we've got highlights of this Cubs win over the Dodgers coming up on the WGN Chicago Cubs Radio Network.